Hi, good morning, everybody. Good morning, warriors. How are you doing? So, my name is Adetokunbo Bolude. So, I said I was going to come out and gist about what happened to me last year, how I landed in the hospital. So, last year I woke up, it was the last Saturday in October. I woke up, I was supposed to go for a naming ceremony that day, but when I woke up, I started feeling a kind of pain in my left rib. So I couldn't go for that program again. So I stayed back at home. And I was just thinking, pain, it will go. May we never be used to pain in our life in Jesus' name. But because of, my history, so I was thinking that maybe the next day it will go. So when I woke up the next day, which was on a Sunday, it has moved to my right rib this time around. And I was like, what is happening? So I was still hoping that it will go on its own. The next morning, which was on a Monday, when I woke up, it has moved to my chest. At this point, I have started coughing. So I took paracetamol. But even with the paracetamol I was taking, there was no relief. So at this point, I had to stop. So when I stopped the paracetamol, so anyway, I don't want to bore you with my story. To cut the long story short, it was now very, very terrible to the extent that I couldn't breathe again. I couldn't breathe. I was now breathing through my mouth, but through my nose, I couldn't breathe again. I was just breathing like it was serious. So what I'm telling you now, I was near death. It was just God that saved me. So anyway, it was the paramedics that came to carry me, the ambulance. They came to the house, they carried me. In fact, I was placed on oxygen from the house. I was placed on oxygen, so I went with them to the hospital. So when we got to the hospital, they did everything. I was admitted at the hospital. They did several kind of tests. They started running several kind of tests. They did ECG. I remember that night. They did ECG for me. Then I was admitted in the hospital. I was admitted in one of the wards. So the next day, because it was on a Friday, so the next day, which was on a Saturday, one of the doctors came to me, one of their senior doctor. In fact, she's the senior consultant in that place. So she came and we spoke, and she told me I had a terrible, that all the tests they did last night, that the result is out, that I have a chronic a chronic um infection at chest infection, which is pneumonia. I have a chronic pneumonia. And I said the infection in my chest. How did the infection enter chest? This is my chest exposed. And I said no, that is one of the sickle cell complications, this and that. She should told me. So she brought one, maybe next week I'll bring it out. She gave me one, something like a cylinder like that, but it's plastic, that I should be blowing it. It will help my heart, that my heart is contracted, that it will help my heart so that it can be more free. That I should be blowing it maybe like 3 times. But it depends on how I want to use it. So, but because I don't want my videos to be long, so that I don't bore you with my stories. Next week, by God's grace, I will elaborate more on it. So that was how I landed in the hospital with the help of the paramedics. And then shout out to Angela. She's my baby sis. She was the one that called the ambulance that day. And so I was admitted in the hospital. But I only spent one night in that hospital. Yes, I will come back and gist you. I only spent one night after they have done a blood exchange. They did blood exchange for me. So I only spent one night because they told me they don't have a specialist in that hospital. So they transferred me to another hospital where I'll be seeing an hematologist doctor. That the place they transferred me to now, they have a specialist. So I think I was in that hospital for 4 days. In the new hospital where I was transferred to, I was there for 4 days. So before I was discharged. So it's a long story, but I don't want to go into much details. I'll just tell you the most important things, and how we can be taking care of it. And moreover, as sickle cell warriors, when we feel any pain, we should go to our doctors. Don't say it will go on his own, it will go on his own. Because that day, I was actually called by my GP where I registered on my street. I was called that day that where I am, that I should start going to the hospital now, 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 now. And me, I was like, I just start going to, what do you mean? I stayed back in my house until when I nearly died. So that was when the paramedics came and they took me away to the hospital. So if you feel any pain, don't say, it will go on its own. That was what I was believing, that maybe it's chest pain, it will go on its own. I didn't know it was that serious because they said it was acute chest infection. So I don't want to bore you because it's 5 minutes 47, 48 now. So I'll come back and gist you next week by God's grace. And please don't forget to take your 2 liters of water every day. And any prescribed medication you are on, please take it. And for those of you that are on any antibiotic, prescribed antibiotics, please make sure you complete your antibiotics. See you next week. Take care. Have a good day. Bye bye.